What is going on, everybody? Welcome back to the garage. And in the last episode, we pinned out the ECM, did the swap over to get ready to transfer to E67. This episode, we're going to attempt to program it. Stick around. Hey everybody, as usual, thank you to all the new subscribers. Thanks to all the likes out there. Thanks for all the support. As I said in the last episode, we swapped over from the ECM that was in this North Star Cadillac XLR previously to the E67, which is a fourth generation platform used on things like the ZR1. It is the boost reference it's used on the XLR Vs. It has the ability to run boost, all that stuff. But after that, we started another recording of an episode to do the programming and got into the programming 50% of the way through, and the programming locked up. And I have a couple ideas as to why that happened. And it's probably my fault. In full disclosure, as we always are here in the garage, I'm going to go ahead, let you guys see the process that I was going through. I recorded the whole thing, got the screen captures, all that jazz. So you're going to see me go through the recording process. We're going to talk about setting things up on TDS, launching SPS, using the VCX Nano as a pass-through device for programming. And I've used it in the past to program Gen 5 modules on Global 8 platforms using SPS. So that part of it works. What happened, though, is right around the 50% mark, as you'll see, the interior lights kicked on. And this happens a lot whenever you're doing module programming because there's so much communication going across the bus as different modules initialized during the programming process. Sometimes other modules will wake up and the lights kicked on, which probably caused a voltage dip and caused the error to happen, caused the write process to fail. Now, the other side of it was that I had a battery charger hooked up. I had a trickle charger on there, which only pushes out, maybe not even an amp to help supplement the battery to keep it from dying. Two problems with that. One, GM says do not use a battery charger during this process. In fact, they've got a specific thing that's called a maintainer. It's about $800. It is a very fancy battery charger where the AC signal is probably isolated in some way so it's not affecting it. And then the DC side of it maintains like 12.7 volts throughout the whole process, no matter what load changes. And it's actually a 50 amp unit. So it's got enough amperage to cover any giant draws that might impact the system. GM also says to use a battery boost box. That way you're not hooked into AC. Something about the noise from the AC is what possibly could have caused the problem in this situation if it weren't just the inability to keep up with the sudden load that impacted the whole process. So that being said, I've got a battery booster on the way. We will try that. In fact, we're going to try two things. I got two more ECMs coming. These things are dirt cheap because they're found in they were found in Monte Carlos and Impalas and stuff like that also. So they're readily available for dirt cheap. So we are going to hook one up and go through the programming process with the battery booster tied in, which should have enough amperage to offset any spikes on it, and see if we can get through the progress on that. And then we'll also do a bench setup. And so I will document going through building a bench harness, not even necessarily a harness. We're just going to use pinouts for the E67, and we'll go through, and those will be two separate videos. But for now, let's jump in the car we're going to pull up the video from this last weekend so you can see me going through the process, and then we'll do a quick wrap up afterwards. So I put on accessory mode. The thing did not catch on fire. The CD player is making all kinds of noises because it doesn't like being powered down. Let's fire up the Tech 2 and see if we can even talk to the ECM. That's going to be the big question, and see whether or not the ECM's even online. Then after that, we will go in and try and download to SPS, download the config, the OS from SPS. I launched the wrong version of Tech 2. Let's launch the right one here. Okay, here we go. Tech to win. This is using that VCX Nano DX Diag, whatever the hell it's called. The Chinese Tech 2 MDI replacement. Okay, here we go.
Diagnostics. This is a 2006 passenger car. It's probably not going to be happy about this, but we'll try it anyways. See if we can see the ECM. This is the big one. See if we can get communications to the module. Waiting for data. Come on, baby. Talk to that thing. Okay, okay. It's talking. Says possible wrong vehicle. That's good. That's fine. So we're going to exit this out. And let's go check out Tech Connect. AC Delco TDS. Log in here. And I need to open up. I've got a configuration for a 2006 XLR that we're going to be pulling the VIN from. I'm going to blank all this out to protect whoever's VIN it was in the first place. Same ordeal. Oh, we got to do verification through TDS. This is, anybody can sign up for this. So by all means, you know, go check it out. Okay, so what we have here, we've got, as you can see, I've got one available, one active. The one active is the one for the Super Auto. These are $40 for 24 months. You can see right here, if you drop down, gives you the option to add them to the cart. It does not license until you go into SPS. Then you can also go in here. This is Tech 2 for Win. It's $250 one-time download. If you've got an MDI, you can download it and use the MDI that way. Well, here's Tech 2 Win for Win right here, but then GDS2, this is the software for later model year vehicles for doing basically what the Tech 2 used to do. So this is the one, if you got the DX Diag, you have to run the virtual machine and it pops up so you can run this GDS2. As you can see, it is $57 for 3 days or $575 for a year. You know, a little pricey. And then the big stuff down here is the service information. 20 bucks for 3 days gets you access to any service manuals, any recalls, any bulletins, all that stuff. This is really great. This is what I use to go out and do the pinout stuff that you can go view at that pg4card.com. You can see where I went in and used 2 different sets of pinouts to determine what was going on. But we're going to go ahead and go in here into vehicle programming software, and we're going to add a VIN, and it should bring up SPS. Sometimes this does not work. TIS2Web does not work on Chrome, so we're going to try it here. See if we can get to launch. And if not, we'll open up Windows. So start SPS. I know I'm breezing through this. Yep, see, it's not going to launch on Chrome. The rest of TDS works perfectly fine with Chrome. It is just this part that does not seem to work. I have updated the Java 1,000 times, just does not want to work. So we're going to add the VIN. I'm going to open up a 2006 XLRV. Bingo. Okay, we'll go through these again. This shows you how to, the first time you do this is a good thing to go through here and read all this stuff. Gets a little repetitive, but now SPS should launch. Here we go. We're going to actually be using the J2534 tool here, and we're doing replace and reprogram. Hopefully the tool shows up. Sometimes it doesn't. Ignition on, ignition off, so we're good here. Cadillac. We're looking for a 2006 passenger car, XLR. There we go. There's our VX Diag. Come on, baby. Okay, we're looking good so far. So this is the VIN for this vehicle. This is not the correct VIN. This isn't even the VIN for my car. This is the VIN for the ECM that's in there. So I'm going to copy over the VIN from this XLRV. And as I said, I'm going to blank this out so you can't see it. Okay, should be good. Here we go. Now we are looking for powertrain, PCM, VCM. So turn ignition off, remove existing controller vehicle, install new controller. We've already done that. Turn ignition on. It's going to try and communicate with it here. Fingers crossed, everybody. This is the moment of truth. Okay, here is the latest operating system. You can see that there is multiple tiers down. We want the latest one. If you go down below here in the history, it'll show you what all is done. These are patches, these are updates. New software contains diagnostics, new software addresses engine oil starvation, remote start, etc., etc. Then the last one is this one, the 654. So let's do this. It's already downloading. It is now reprogramming. Come on, baby. Here we go. Here we go. We are writing the program now. Takes less than a minute. Awesome. Oh, I don't buy that. That was at 44 minutes is what the estimated time remaining was. It's trickling down very, very quickly. So it is going to take a couple minutes. Let's go ahead and fast forward. Well, we had an error. That's not good. Okay, let's try it again.
So that was it. As I said, everything looked good. Hopefully you got some experience of seeing our, what goes into logging into TDS Web, going through SPS, launching SPS, and going into the process. As I said, everything was working perfectly fine up until that 50% mark. And, I really hadn't tied it together until I went back and realized, man, the lights kicked on and that's when it aired out. Generally, if you keep power on to the ECM, if you don't cut power, it will continue to try to write. And it did in this case, but it kept on failing. And most likely, as I said, it was a power condition. Either because the battery couldn't sustain the voltage it needed to, or the charger that I had hooked up was causing noise on. In fact, if you've ever hooked a charger up and had an amplified system, audio system on there, oftentimes when the charger's hooked up, you can hear it humming through the speakers, and that is part of what causes the issues, is that interference will ruin programming. So that being said, I'm going to wrap this one up. We're going to call it a fail. It is what it is. Other than that, we will, as soon as the other ones come in, we will try the different styles. As I said, we'll do an on-vehicle using a battery booster on the battery. In the meantime, I have the battery unhooked. I'm charging it, and so it'll be full charge whenever we're ready to go. And then we'll hook the booster up on top of it to make sure we have the overhead as suggested by GM Tech Connect. And then we will do a video on bench testing or bench programming using simple stuff. You can get the things around that you need to do bench programming for 15, 20 bucks. You can go out and buy the expensive harnesses. We're not going to do that. We're going to try and do a cheap one, set it up on the bench, see if we can't go ahead and push an SPS program from the bench. So as always, I want to thank you for stopping by. Keep your eyes peeled. I'm actually getting ready to jack up the rest of the other corners of the car and start doing a bushing swap. So there'll be a video coming out on that here soon. And then I've just got a set of plethora of other parts out there that need to get installed. So I'm going to get to work, and ABT.